Knott-Craig. He is the founder of Project IgniteSA and also many other things before that. Of course, all of this would not be possible without our sponsors, and that's Nedbank and Reynolds. I need you for the next 30 seconds to turn behind you, in front of you, introduce yourself to someone who doesn't look familiar, and you've got 30 seconds. We have a competition later on from Reynolds, and that is to win an experience with the RS4 that's downstairs, the Clio, that's based on your tweets and your sharing to anybody else who's not here. Ladies and gentlemen, Nonda was Mokwena.
So I'm not going to say a lot of things, but the Clio 4 is downstairs for you to test drive. So if you are interested, I will be around to just come speak to me, and I'll make sure that you drive the Clio.
Father, a husband, an entrepreneur, and a world-class inspirational speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Ponke Shipalan.
Wow. So the first thing that I learned, don't put too much pressure on yourself. 30 to 40% of things that happen to me during the year are outside my business plan. Favor, business opportunities that just come up. And guess what? Most of the time, that's what really sustains the business. So I want to touch on a few points that have created this space of favor in my life. Number one, do you know your purpose? It's already within you. Find ways you need to water the entrepreneurship seed that is within you. Once you become it in your spirit, in your mind, do it. Start selling something. Make God bless you.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to call on Nedbank to talk to us about the products and services they have for small businesses.
The small business owners are constantly on the move, so if you're deciding to do your banking with small business, Nedbank small business, the relationship managers come out to you. I have to touch on this very innovative product. It's called the Nedbank Pocket. I'm not sure if anyone has seen it, so how it works. It is actually for businesses that are actually mobile, like yours, if you're delivering goods, and your debit card and credit card is acceptable.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a young South African entrepreneur that to many of you, particularly in the Western Cape, don't need much of an introduction to. 17 companies in the last 10 years co-funded and co-founded. Allan, without further ado, over to you.
You're hungry, you want to get rich, huh? And the only way you'll ever get rich is to start a business. My wife and I decided to go Joey. And then I had an opportunity to start a business. It was a cell phone tracking product that he had franchised for South Africa. And he wanted somebody to run with it. And this guy, Gavin, gave me this opportunity to start a business. And we would let you track your kids, or track your wife, or wives track husbands, or whatever. And you would pay us 10 rand a month to be able to do that. And that became a very big business. It turns out quite a lot of husbands wanted to track their wives. So we ended up with about a million customers, all paying us 10 rand a month. And I had an opportunity to sell out. And that was November 2007, that's when my ship came in. I took a screenshot of the SMS I got. I got a hell of a lot of money into my bank account. And I learned the hard way that the only way you'll ever make money in a business with marketing is to keep your costs down. And that was World of Avatar. Smart apps for dumb phones. One of my best friends from Andile, actually, Francois Swap, joined me. And the two of us ran this business. And we came across an opportunity to buy Mixit. And the next thing you know, we owned Mixit. So we went from World of Avatar to all of those companies, like swimming around with the Mickey Mouses over there. And then giant Mixit, monster Mixit, which we owned 100% of, and I ran that. I overpromised in order to get that deal. Everything I do, there are three things I do. I focus, I don't get carried away with too many things at the same time. I'm very frugal. And the last one is you've got to underpromise. And I thought to myself, those are three underlying principles that's going to guide me forever Africa. People started approaching me in Stellenbosch to say, Allan, why don't you pick up from where you left off with Stellenbosch free Wi-Fi? My whole thing was always still help people while you're making money. No one in South Africa, unless you're a psychopath, you can look around and this is a fair country. You look around and you go, this is an unfair country, and I'm going to make a difference. So we started a non-profit company called Project IgniteSA, Instant Access. How do we make that cheaper? How do we make it free? Everything is all on there. So why shouldn't the government make money? company. So when we pitched to the city of Tshwane, it was 2,000 times cheaper than what they could get on the open market. That was the number that he could do. The next thing I said, and you know what, my brother, if it doesn't work, don't pay. But the contract must say, at the city's discretion, you can pay up, based upon its definition of success. It worked. So let me just give you a couple of tips. The first thing is, I think you should get married young. The reason you should get married young is it takes a lot of distraction out of your life. You've got to find people. No one can do it by themselves. Particularly in a startup world, it's about speed. Everything is about speed. It's about failing fast. Being an entrepreneur is not about building things. It's about selling things. So you just have to be thinking about this risk mitigation all the time. And in a way, keeping your overheads down is risk mitigation.
And I wanted to know from you, Allan, how you made that transition from being a CA to going into the same companies and running them.
This world is about taking risk. And risk means potential pain. You must try going into an industry in which you're not competing with people with the same discipline as you.
Allan, I'm very happy that you never panicked. You stayed in the country, but you are still advising others to actually come back. How did you reach a conclusion to make Project IgniteSA and NPO?
The reason it's an NPO is because right in the beginning I thought it was a charity. It happened that turned out to be the perfect vehicle for the government to invest in. I just think actually the country would work a lot better if the private sector stopped trying to make money out of the government. Another way I'm going to crush my competition, only you're going to pass something to the book. I'm going to put this for free.
I would really like to know the most influential books that you have read.
For me, the two most important books really are The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. I would probably read Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. I would read a fantasy novel. You forget that it's actually not just about that, it's about having fun and being in the journey and like being part of a story rather. Never go into debt. It's just a rule. The second thing I would say is just get rid of all the overheads, which mostly means get a smaller house. Just get back to basics. Simplify your life. When the path opens up, it's easy. You just go. The problem is it's not the path you thought it would be. And that's what stops people going down that path. Of the three things that govern my life, focus, frugality, and under-promise, focus is the most important. Because focus leads to energy. If you're focusing on the stuff that gives you energy, you will have more energy, you'll get more done in your day. And on that note, I just want to say thank you very much for all your time, guys. It's a pleasure talking to all of you.
Hi, my name is Allan Knott-Craig and I've just done a talk for MyStartUp, a great organization getting a lot of young entrepreneurs together. And I was talking today about how to avoid failure, because if there's one thing I've learned in business is that the golden rule is never die. And the second golden rule is never forget the first golden rule. Thank you for your time.
So thank you so much to everybody who made it today, who witnessed I Am an Entrepreneur in Cape Town with my brother Allan Knott-Craig Jr. And he did an amazing job at just telling the truth really about the journey. Like we always do on I Am an Entrepreneur, this time around we did bring one of the best entrepreneurs we have so far, young, agile, focused, clear, knows what he wants out of life and is able to share that with the audience. So thank you to everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you in 2015.